To be rejected is to be human. I learned this very valuable life lesson at the tender age of 17 when I was rejected from a small private liberal arts college in the Midwest. I had applied to a pre-med program and I received a form letter stating I was not accepted. And so instead of just taking this rejection and moving forward, I decided to call the college and make a case for myself. I said, I'm really surprised to receive this rejection. I am a straight A student. I've taken AP advanced placement classes. I've held a job. I enrolled in pre-college classes at my local university during the summer. I just can't believe that I was rejected. Is this a mistake? This very kind woman on the other end of the phone, who probably was used to these self-righteous high school students calling, said everyone who applied to this pre-med program was top of their class. Straight A's, stellar scores on the ACT and SAT. The competition basically was stiff is what she said to me. And I think it was such an important lesson because I had to accept the fact you can do everything right. You can go above and beyond, you can work hard, but you may still be rejected. There are people that are better than you. There are certain situations that are out of your control. And what's ironic about this particular story is that this liberal arts college was not even a top choice. I was accepted to all the other colleges I applied to, and I ended up not even majoring in pre-med. So I just find this story humorous. But I wanted to share it because, all of us have experienced rejection likely many times in our life. And there are ways that we can overcome rejection in order to move forward. We have to be very careful that rejection does not define us. What I recommend are 3 tips to overcome rejection and see rejection as an opportunity to reframe your story. Learn and grow from rejection. See rejection in a different way than we normally do. As I shared, like this personal assault. How could I be rejected? What I recommend, number 1, is to get support. Find a therapist, a coach, a mentor, someone who can hold space for you and help you process all the range of feelings and emotions that arise when a rejection comes about. Because it can be very easy to spiral, to catastrophize. All of a sudden you're caught up in this swell, a negativity, and you think, well, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not fill in the blank enough. And a professional can help you realize, I know that this person may have been your soulmate. I know that you thought they were the stars, the moon, the asteroids. However, there are 8 billion people in this world. Maybe there are other potential partners for you. Or I know that you wanted this job. There are many other jobs out there. Or I know you didn't get this promotion. How can we reframe your story? Because it's really important to consider the story you are telling yourself. As a coach working with clients for 10 years, one of the biggest roles that I play is helping to edit the stories that clients are telling themselves, because often they are inaccurate. Just because you're rejected from one job does not mean you're going to be rejected from every single job. Just because one person rejects you doesn't mean that every other person will reject you. And so it really helps to have someone who can pull you out of that emotional state that you're in when you're rejected, while also honoring that all the emotions and feelings that come up, they are very natural and normal. When we feel we're being rejected, someone says no, a door closes. The second tip I recommend is to go broad and be objective. And what I mean by by that is there are times when we're rejected, we don't understand the bigger picture. Because again, we're so caught up in the emotional response, we can have a black or white perspective. When instead, there could be a larger perspective that we're missing. And I'll give you an example. I had a friend last year who was impacted by the tsunami of layoffs in the tech industry. Unfortunately, after 20 years with a particular large tech company, her position was eliminated. And this was a big deal because her identity had been tied up with this company. She wasn't sure what was next. And so she went about her job search with gusto. She's applying to different roles. She ended up being a finalist for 2 different jobs. She was rejected for both of those jobs. The feedback she received was, yeah, we didn't really think you wanted this job. And it was hard for my friend to hear because she had prepared for these roles. She thought she was qualified, compensation was strong, and here she was without an offer after months and months of applying, of interviewing, putting her best forward. The result was my friend ended up on her couch for 3 weeks. Can anyone relate? And really, where you're just so down and out that all you can do is lie on your couch and watch Netflix with your big bowl of popcorn next to you and maybe some chocolates on the other side of you. So my friend was in this woe is me, I can't believe, what do I do? I'm being rejected. And then she had an epiphany. My friend realized she was heading down the wrong path. She was applying for jobs she was qualified for that she could do. She was a strong candidate for. However, she realized her dream was to work in academia, specifically providing career counseling to students. She got her rear up off the couch and she started to apply to different universities in her area. Received a request for interviews. First university she applied to. 2 months ago, she accepted an offer, and she is now in a role where she's providing career counseling to students at a well-known university on the East Coast. And I think this is a story that really highlights, how we can have this very narrow view of rejection when actually rejection can serve as a catalyst. And we can ask ourselves, am I headed down the right path? What are these rejections telling me? And for my friend, the rejections were telling her that she was meant to pursue her dream role, which became a reality for her. The third tip I recommend is to view rejection as an opportunity to grow. I highly recommend Dr. Carol Dweck's work. She is an expert on mindset. She wrote a book called Mindset. I'll include a link below. Dr. Carol Dweck is a professor of psychology at Stanford. Many of you may be aware of her work on the correlation between embracing a growth mindset and achieving success in life. So instead of viewing rejection as this personal assault, I'm not good enough, you spiral, you think about, I'll never have the skills and abilities, I'll never be able to achieve XYZ. Think about rejection as an opportunity to really grow, improve, get better for the next interview, for the next opportunity to get promoted, for the next relationship. And this is what Dr. Carol Dweck says about the growth mindset. Why hide deficiencies instead of overcoming them? Why look for friends or partners who will just shore up your self-esteem instead of ones who will also challenge you to grow? And why seek out the tried and true instead of experiences that will stretch you? The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it's not going well, is the hallmark of the growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times in their lives. As you encounter rejection, think about how your mindset is playing a role in your reaction to the rejection. Are you embracing a fixed mindset and thinking that your skills, abilities, your personalities are set in stone, this is it? Or are you embracing a growth mindset and realizing that your skills, abilities, personality are actually flexible? You can change them, you can improve, you can grow, as the term suggests. What does that look like from a tactical perspective? Let's say you bomb interviews. We probably have all been there. We take a step back, we realize, what can we do differently? What were some areas that did not go as well in the interviews? Can we partner with someone who will offer mock interviews? We can improve in the interviews. We're not just a terrible interviewer. We didn't get the promotion. How can we obtain feedback to help us? What are some skills that we can develop? How can we ensure that our promotion will be successful in the future? What is in our control? A relationship did not work out. What can we do differently when we meet someone? What can we take responsibility for? Were we even with the right person? So it's really important with rejection to ask ourselves these questions and ideally have people in our lives who can help us with the reframing of the story we're telling ourselves. They can help us in seeing the rejection in more of an objective manner. And also, we can embrace the growth mindset and see rejection as such a gift in our lives because we can become better human beings with each rejection that we face. If you have faced rejection and you need support, I would love to hear from you. As I mentioned, I often edit client stories. I help them think differently about challenges and adversity that they have faced in their lives. You can find more information on my coaching services below. I'll share a link to my website. If you would love to be part of a positive community of people who are interested in transforming the way they live, lead, and work, please hit subscribe, like. I really appreciate all the support. Until next time.